So our final guest is Joylin Ross. I've known Joylin for many years. And Joylin was on the very first episode of Black Authors Matter TV. So that was July 28th, 2020. And we're so happy to have her back because she's been posting on Facebook all about all of her awards she's been winning in Las Vegas. The city of Las Vegas is elevating her to, because of her work with publishing and authors and just in the industry. So we wanted to bring Joylyn back to tell us about what's been going on with her. And then she says she's going to be giving a word or two to authors out there as they pursue the business side of what they do. So welcome back to the show, Joylyn.
Hi, thank you for having me. I didn't realize I was on camera. I'm just looking like, okay, do I have my tissue? Do I have my water? Do I got my book?
What's funny is you turned on your camera and you were posing. So you turned on your camera. And
you were posing. You were like,
oh, okay.
You better work that Afro, girl. Work it.
I have my laptop. I have my PC. I'm actually sitting in front of my PC. Of course, my system decided it wants to go down. So I have my little phone handy. Said y'all just gonna have to see the green screen because it didn't give me the option to try to do the background, but it matches. It matches.
It does match. It's kicking up the green in your t-shirt. So
yes. How's everybody this evening?
Great,
Wonderful.
doing great. I'm starting my food prep I'm cooking for Thanksgiving. So tonight I'm beginning some of my food prep.
No,
After the show.
Tomorrow. Gumbo prep is tomorrow. And actually making the gumbo will be Thursday morning because I need my gumbo to be fresh.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Awesome.
Right.
Well, my two daughters are taking over this year. So
you just get to sit back and
I'm going to try my best to stay out of that kitchen. I'm going to try my best to mind my business.
Oh, okay. I love cooking.
But I got Chinese on speed dial. Y'all know how
You're wrong. You're wrong.
I think those restaurants are probably open on Thanksgiving, for people who don't want to cook.
Yeah.
Or single people, So you never know. So what's been going on with your with Path to Publishing and all of that with the city of Las Vegas? Tell us about the honors that you've been getting.
Okay, there is so much going on, the awards, the different contests, and I've tried to figure out a way so that I don't be on here looking like Kanye. I'm the best to ever do it. I'm the best rapper alive. I figured I would leave.
Own it. Own it.
Yes.
Own it.
I'm gonna own it, but I was like, how can I make this a little bit more diplomatic? So what I did is I interjected all of those awards, winnings, and honors into some notes of which I can help other people get them too. So is it okay if we go that route?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It's your world to the end of the show.
So one of the fabulous things I'm excited about is I made the roster for the Nevada's Arts Council. It's the Nevada's Arts Council Artists in Schools and Community roster. And almost every local arts agency or arts council, they have this roster, but not many writers and authors and artists know about it. So any writers, authors, or even if you just teach art, musician, these rosters, they are like the go-to for schools, colleges, universities, and community organizations. So and it's almost like filling out a grant. So it's almost like filling out a grant. You go to your local arts council. Mine is the Nevada's Arts Council. Again, it's artists in schools plus community roster. Now, once you get approved to be on this roster, you are on it for life unless you do something dumb. Unless you do something that doesn't line up with their policies and their, everybody has these, equity and inclusion statements and stuff now. So you really have to make sure, but if you're a person of good character and good integrity, you shouldn't have no problem. I know some of us, we can't pop off. It depends, but don't pop off. Don't get reported. But once once you're on this roster, you're on this roster for life. And you actually get a link to your website so that different organizations who receive grants, who need some type of artist to come in, who need someone who could teach about writing, who needs someone who could teach about publishing, Gwen, who needs to teach someone about how they can go to college for free, how they can get these scholarships. They are looking for those, those type of artists and authors, and again, just with the teacher aspect. And so you're on there for life. And what is great is most of the organizations, once you make this roster, you get 2 grants. My light went off. I'm sorry. You get 2 grants a year. You can apply for 2 grants a year because they want you to be able to host activities. So they want you to be able to go to a school, to do a reading, maybe donate or raffle books to the class. They want you to be able to go to the library, have an event. But, for a lot of us, it costs money to move these messages. We have to get the material. We're teachers. We make hourly fees to teach people some of the stuff that we know. So they want you to be able to host these different types of organizations, and then you can get, additional grants and funding. But what's even better is that once you are on this roster, once you get these grants by your local art council, you are able to put them on all of your marketing material as a sponsor or a supporter. So I got a grant from this same council to write my book that I'm working on. It's called Path to Publishing, A Guide to Literary Success. They awarded me a grant. I can include them on the marketing material. I can put them on the front cover. I can put them in the front back book matter that the Nevada's Arts Council supports this book when I'm marketing and promoting on social media. And what that did is other people said, oh, well, if the Arts Council's behind her, let me sponsor, let me support her as well. If they're sponsoring her and supporting her, they've already vetted her. She's already passed the test. She's going to be in the schools. She's going to be in the libraries. Let's hop on the bandwagon. Let's give her another grant. So now that it can be bigger, now that it can be in the universities. So that is great to know. You don't have to be a children's author to get on this roster. Think of what you can do creatively as an artist. What can you teach? And again, it's typically schools and universities and some nonprofit organization. It's the artist roster. So whatever your art is, apply, look into it. It's not something that's just randomly open. So you really have to make sure you're subscribing to these Arts Council's newsletters, which takes me into another, award that I've won. I won an artist award, and it's going to allow me to host my first From Parent to Publisher event. I have a parent from parent to publisher, and it's basically all of this writing our children do, and we get on social media and we, share the poem or say what a wonderful writer our kids are, and they wrote this story, is to go from being a parent to being a publisher, to get that intellectual property, protected, to allow that child to become a young author, a young writer, a young illustrator. So that's one of the things that I'm doing. And again, that's a grant I got through my local arts council. It's low-hanging fruit. Okay. Whenever I hear people say, I wish someone would pay me to write, I wish I could just go someplace and write for 2 weeks, but I don't have the money. It goes one ear and out the other, because me and my tribe know you can do that. There is money. The Writers Colony at Dairy Hollow in Eureka Springs, I was awarded a scholarship. See, I told you I was going to get it in, but I'm getting it in a way where other people can, benefit as well. So it's the Writers Colony at Dairy Hollow. They are constant. Go sign up for their newsletter. At least every other week, you're going to receive in your inbox an opportunity to win a fellowship there, okay? I applied for a fellowship, but I wasn't awarded the fellowship. But I'm a person who says, let me figure out other opportunities there are. So I didn't get the fellowship, but one of my colleagues that I recommended, she did get the fellowship, but I got a scholarship. So when I replied to thank them at least for the opportunity and to congratulate the people who did win, they thought, oh, wow, she didn't even get it. And she's replying to us and this, that, and the other. And so I formed that type of relationship. And so she ended up emailing me back and say, well, you know, even though you didn't get the fellowship, you can apply for a scholarship and it can cover so much of your stay. So I did receive a scholarship after not being awarded the fellowship. I'm telling you, the Writers Colony has so many different opportunities. So I did receive the scholarship and it paid for a week. And I ended up staying 2 weeks though. With that scholarship, as a resident at the Writers Colony, I was also able to teach a workshop. They give you different opportunities. You could teach a workshop right there in the facility. You can do outreach into the community. One of the fellows who was there when I was there, she went into, I want to say she went into the prisons. You could do a reading in the library garden in Eureka Springs. And what's great about that is because now you're doing this event and it's kind of your, you know, you're paying them back for awarding you the scholarship or the fellowship. You get in their newsletter. You get in the local newspapers and the surrounding newspapers. I had people drive hours to come to my event, to my workshop. And then from that, I received clients. So you get put out there in so many different ways. Just apply. I sat in on our local Arts Council meeting. It's open. Their board meetings are open. And one of the biggest issues that almost every arts council has had in 2021 is writers and authors not applying for all that free money they're trying to give away. So as the year ends, they're giving individuals who did apply for they're giving them the max. They're giving them exactly what they asked for. If they asked for $3,000 for an event, if they asked for $5,000, they're giving them whatever that max is because they have to get rid of these funds. There's too many funds to carry over. And they said they've been connecting with other arts councils and nobody knows why. There's this surplus of free money that writers and authors will not apply for.
Now, Joylyn, I need to jump in.
Probably.
I need to jump in real quick because there are a couple of questions that have come up. The first thing is the artist in the artist plus the artist communities plus roster, the community roster.
Yes.
Is that artistcommunities.org?
No, you have to go through your local arts council. So here in Nevada, it's the Nevada's Arts Council. When I was back in Ohio, it was the Ohio Arts Council. You have to go through your local arts councils are waiting to give you money. So stop saying, I wish I could get paid to write. You can. You can get paid to write. Quit saying, I wish I could go somewhere and write for 2 weeks, but I don't have the money. Okay, these organizations and foundations have the money. You have to do the work. And the fact that they are trying to figure out what to do with this surplus money at the end of 2021, that's it. They trying to give
and then
money.
So now there goes my next question is, do you have to be a 501c3 in order to?
Nope, you have to be an artist. This is one of the, I had a consulting call earlier today before I got on this call, and it was from one of my clients who had attended my Act Like an Author, Think Like a Business conference. And she said, we were getting ready to hang up. She said, before I go, I have to thank you for what you taught me on day 2 of the conference. I'm like, the business day? Yep, build your book business. She said, because I did everything you said we need to do as artists to turn our art into a business, to turn our book into a business, to turn our role into an author as a business. She received $17,500 from the SBA just because she had all her ducks in a row. She had all of her tax statements. She had everything they needed. Because I tell people all the time, you can call it your book hustle, you can call it your book ministry, you can call it your love, you can call it your passion, but you better treat it like a business if you want this money out here. You can get these awards, you can get these grants as an individual artist. They're individual artist grants, but you can also get these grants and awards as a publisher. When you turn this into a business, when you have something separate from your name and you have a company where you are writing off on your taxes, where you are filing for your income and your expenses as an author, that's separate from you. And as long as you can show those two separate, which that's what I would teach my clients, depending on where they are on their literary journey. Sometimes you're just not at that point where you need to go from okay, I'm an individual author. I'm still working my 9 to 5. So I'm going to file my regular 1040, and then I'm going to do my self-employment, doing business as. And then eventually you break off and it's like, okay, no, I'm ready to keep this separate. I'm ready to not just be Joylyn M. Ross, the author. I need to be Path to Publishing the company. So all of those people who took the course, Build Your Book Business, you can go to my website, www.pathtoppublishing.com/conference store, Build Your Book Business. They did everything in that. We were able to get SBA grants. We were able to get we were able to get our community grants. We were able to get our state grants. We were able to get them as an individual artist, gig worker, and we were able to get them through our publishing company as well.
Okay.
So we were able to double what some people weren't even getting approved for one, because they hadn't been filing taxes, or they hadn't been filing taxes properly. They hadn't been reporting all of their income, showing it as payroll. Okay. That's what I tell people all the time. You know, the hustle, make the money, stuff it in your bra, make the money, stuff it in your sock, make the money, go to the Coach store. That's hustling. Uncle Sam wanted to see receipts. That's all he wanted. All he wanted to see was receipts. And so many people could not provide those receipts legally. Okay. But when I got off that phone call and she said she ended up getting a total of $17,500, she said she never would have gotten it if she hadn't have taken her business as an author and made it separate from her personal business, you know, with her 9 to 5. So that's what I do. I have Joylyn M. Ross. She's a literary consultant, a master literary educator, and she does her own thing. She files her own taxes. She works for Path to Publishing. Okay. I hired myself first. And then there's Path to Publishing. That's separate on taxes. So like Joylyn, she drives a car, but it's the company car. So that car is not on Joylyn's taxes. Path to Publishing, the company pays for those taxes. So I always tell my clients, if your car is paid off, sell it to your company. If your car is paid off, sell it to your company. You can write off your insurance payments. You can write off your windshield wipers. You know, you can write off your tires. We really have to start thinking about what we do as a business. Every business starts with a thought, an idea, and a concept. So does every book. So we have to turn that book into a business, not make the book our entire business, just the foundation that we can use to build from, creating the multiple streams of literary income, again, from teaching, from coaching, from speaking engagements, things of that nature, from going into the schools. One of the things, especially children's authors can do, is get into these schools. Going to the English teacher is fine, going to the principals and all that, fine, and you know, the librarian, but the PTA and the PTO, they don't want selling candy bars and candles to be able to pay to bring you in as an author. So make sure you go to the PTA and the PTO, and readers, go to your children's schools and, you know, recommend your favorite author. Recommend them to bring in your favorite author. And I won't say for a reading, because people want experiences in general. So I don't allow my clients to say, oh, I'm having a book reading. Oh, I'm having a book launch. Oh, I'm having a book signing. No, we're going to create an event. We're going to call it something. We're going to make this an experience. And so create that 45-minute, you know, program or experience that you can take into the schools. Have that ready. Have some type of one-page PDF on your website where when that parent who happens to be one of your fans goes into her PTO meeting, they can pull that right up on their phones and they can download that PDF to see what your program, what your reading would look like, and say, you know what, this is a good idea. Let's have the president reach out. Let's have the secretary reach out. So readers, you can help as well. You can help. Speak up about your favorite writers and authors. I think, what is it? Overdrive. That is like, libraries love Overdrive. So authors, writers out there who are watching this, make sure you have your digital books on Overdrive. Make sure you have your digital books on Overdrive. They love Overdrive. very, 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 very few are going to go to Amazon to get your book to put in their system. They're going to go to Overdrive. It's for libraries. And what's great, readers, they have a button on Overdrive that allows you, the reader, to recommend your favorite author. So we really have to form this relationship as authors between our readers so that they will really champion us and they will think of us when they see these things. But we don't have to do all that work. On your next newsletter, I challenge writers and authors. I challenge you to ask your reading fan base. I challenge you to go inside your reading group. I challenge you to post on social media to ask your readers to recommend you to come into their school for a school event, for an author appearance is what they call it in school. So I said this was going to be for authors and readers because we have to work together so that people know that Black authors matter. I'm gonna take a break.
Okay, I'm going to jump in again. I'm glad you're taking a break. Okay, so my next question is to get somebody asked how do you get on Overdrive? I'm sure that you can go to the website to find out how to get on there.
You do.
But my question actually is, do you have to be, I know you say you don't have to be a children's author, but do you have to be a certain type of author? Are there certain authors that they won't take? For instance, if you're an erotica author, are you able to be on Overdrive? Or if you are I don't want to say street fiction, but like a street fiction or urban fiction type author, are you able to get on Overdrive?
What you have to do now, because now it's not even just about Overdrive, it's about Ingram. It's about Amazon. Everybody's taking this licking now about free speech versus hate speech. Erotica, they start taking a hit a while ago. I want to say it was about 3 years ago. I used to write erotica when I first entered the industry. And so I remember had books on platforms. They've been on them platforms, getting my little residual income, my checks, even though I stopped writing secular and started writing Christian fiction. God just told me I had to stop writing. He said I still could collect the fruits of my labor. So I still get my checks for it. And so out of the blue, all of the platforms start sending me this release I had to sign for erotic books. And a lot of people noticed Amazon, they went through a fate, they buried erotica books. They buried them. But I had to maybe Smashwords, Draft to Digital, several other ebook aggregators. I had to sign a disclaimer saying that even though the book was erotica, it didn't have certain words in it. It didn't have bestiality in it. It didn't have child sex in it. It didn't have staged rapes. There was this entire list you had to sign on the disclaimer. And if you did not sign that disclaimer, then your book was completely removed. Now, with Overdrive, they do have certain titles they will not take. Because if you go through any place like Draft to Digital, I love Draft to Digital. Draft to Digital's like your one-stop shop. Draft to Digital, you can do your print book, your ebook, and your audio book. Okay, so I love Draft to Digital. I love Kobo as well because Kobo and Walmart partner. So once your book goes into Kobo, because they have a partnership with Walmart, it's automatically going on Walmart.com. Although I still suggest my clients get on the Walmart marketplace. If you have not done it already, get on the Walmart marketplace. The same way Amazon has their marketplace. Anybody who's ever worked with me, they know I sell my books 3 different ways on Amazon. 3 different ways. Amazon has 3 different ways you can sell your book because if you notice, you kind of got to compete with yourself on Amazon. You kind of have to list your book under your marketplace store for like $2 cheaper than it's listed on Amazon because they love doing that. Here's the book for $14.95, but you could get it here for $12.95. So what people don't realize is that when that happens to my book, you're saving that $2 because Amazon put where you could get it for $12.95. It's still me. I just have a whole new little marketplace on Amazon. So you got 3 options to buy my book. But what most people don't realize, they're all me. They're all me. I have a bookstore, Book for Less on Amazon. So when people see that now, say you can get it for $11.95 here, it's me. You're still buying it from me. And what I love about that is when you go through, not Advantage, the marketplace. A lot of people do Advantage. Advantage, Amazon still gets the order for your hard copy print books. You mail them to Amazon, Amazon mails them out. When you take the time to start up your own marketplace account, you get your customer's name, you get your customer's address, so you can market. Because people ask me all the time, how do you have your customers' names from Amazon? Amazon doesn't give them. If you go this route, you do. So if you want to know who your customers are on Amazon, make sure you're selling through that marketplace. But back to Walmart. Walmart has the marketplace too. If you are selling t-shirts, if you are selling mugs, if you are selling calendars, if you are selling books, if you are selling candles, because they really, 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 really want diversity right now, it's time to use your Black privilege and get on in there before they start making you jump through hoops. Y'all know what I'm saying? Walmart Marketplace. Go on, apply, get in. I've applied. I at least wanted to get my one book. I wanted to get my one product in there just so I could have my account. I could be approved before they start making you jump through hoops. But you could go to the Walmart.com, the Walmart Marketplace rather. But again, you can also go through Kobo for your digital books. I mean, for your digital books, for your audio books, and for your ebooks. But again, a lot of these platforms will shoot it off to different places. They may shoot it off to Overdrive. And sometimes when I try to plug my erotica books in, they'll say, we were able to place it on every platform except for this because they don't allow erotica. So I know this circles back to your question, Rhonda, about erotica. You have to do your due diligence. You have to read your guidelines. Again, we're going through this whole hate speech and freedom of speech, and the whole erotica thing started a few years ago, where there's all these disclaimers now. There's all these disclaimers. You have to look at everybody's individual definition of what is hate speech versus free speech. And right now, I mean, they're even trying to cancel authors because their characters said something that was, deemed hate speech. So you have to be very, very careful nowadays. But just do your due diligence. What one platform might not accept, another one will, which is why with my clients, and this one, I teach them in Beyond the Basics of Self-Publishing, and that's on the same website I gave you earlier, www.pathtopublishing.com/conference. And
you're gone.
Am I gone?
You're there. Well, there you
Oh,
are.
we're there, but you weren't live. You weren't on camera.
Unfortunately, I want you to keep on going, but it is 10 o'clock now.
Oh, shoot.
It's 9.
Okay, yeah, 9 o'clock on the
Okay, let me give one more thing.
Okay.
Funds for Writers. Funds for Writers is a weekly email of content, and this is put out by Hope Clark. Funds for Writers is a weekly email of contests, books, awards, fellowships, grants, residencies, and even jobs, okay? Even when publishers are hiring for jobs or professional opinions, Hope usually does a really good job of vetting. So she's not putting up, any type of, junk or any scams, but still do your own due diligence in vetting. Make sure you are applying for these awards and contests so that all you got to do is win once, but you can use award winning for life. Right. All you got to do is win one award.
So it's called Funds for Writers.
Yep. Funds for Writers. Okay. And sign up for that newsletter.
Okay.
So people are asking for a part 2 for you. And I can say now that one thing I've always admired about what you're doing is that you were able to link up with the college and people were able to get actual master's credit for taking the Path to Publishing workshop. So that's an amazing benefit in and of itself. Now, what happens now? People have heard this information. People are excited. Our chat is blowing up right now. So let's say somebody sees all this and they said, I really need to talk to her. I need her to coach me. I need to get this information so I can apply this to my own writing journey. What do they need to do?
They can just simply go to my company website, www.pathtopublishing.com. There's a contact page if they want to set up and have a free 15-minute consulting call with me. If you already know, look, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to win. I'm ready to create multiple streams of income. I'm ready to really maximize, optimize, and monetize my role as an author, not just book sales and royalties. Then you can go straight to the conference store and you can buy, I call it the literary blueprint. I call it the literary Bible because I'm 100% confident that it works. I know what it has done for the clients and for the authors who work it. Okay. I'm going to squeeze in this one last thing. Okay. So you don't want to fill out these grants. You don't want to do all of that stuff. You can just ask for money. You can just ask. Don't use the word donate. Don't use the word donate. Use contribute. Let people know, you know, I want to reach, you know, 100 book sales. Or I want to be able to earn $1,000 so that I can put the down payment on this venue so that I can be able to do X, Y, Z. It's the ask. You can have fundraisers for for-profit events. You just can't use the word donate, but you can let people know this is my vision. This is my goal. I want to put this message out. I want to put this children's book out, but my illustrator costs $3,000. It don't have to be on GoFundMe. It can be on your website. It can be a link in a social media post that goes back to your website. It's just called asking, but call them contributions. Unless you are a 501c3, it's called a contribution. You can be for profit. You can have an entire conference with a contribution button where people can help you have this conference, or they can donate so that it can pay for other people. Say you want to give 10 books to a school, they can contribute, not donate, unless you are that 501c, but they can contribute. So there's so many ways. Don't let money keep you from sharing your message, please.
Okay.
And readers, don't let money keep you from reading. Go to the library. Go to the library. Request our books. Check out our books.
Okay. What I wanted to ask you, since people are asking for a part 2, is I wanted to see if you are available on December 28th at 8 p.m. Central, which would be 6. You're on Pacific time, right?
Yeah, I'm on Pacific.
Okay, so it would be December 28th at 6 p.m. your time for part 2.
Okay, let me grab my Let me grab my author calendar real quick.
Okay. And then that way people can utilize the information that you provided. And then if they have follow-up questions, we can do that with the part 2. That'll give them about a month.
Okay, so December 28th.
Which is, of course, a Tuesday.
Okay, at same time?
No, it would be at 6 p.m. your time.
Yep, I got it down.
Okay.
But I'm gonna have some more stuff. I'm gonna have some hope because y'all ain't let me get to everything.
Okay.
Joylyn, you live in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, somebody wanted to know where you were on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay, so we're gonna have Joylin Ross back to give us a part 2, and then you all can ask questions, and we might even make it an hour. We'll see if she's available.
That would be so good because I felt like 6. Y'all remember Blossom, her best friend 6, talking 90 miles per hour?
Yeah. And
I'm telling my age, but
we'll have to call it something. If we're gonna do it for an hour, we'll have to call it something, but we'll connect offline on what we're gonna call it. So when we do the flyer, we can have that already done. So see what we did. And I've made
Thank you. I thought y'all was gonna be mad at me. I thought y'all was gonna be mad at me because I was like, I'm about to do a takeover. It ain't called a takeover, but I'm about to do it. And they just gonna have to be mad and not invite me back again.
No, we wouldn't be mad. We just like to start and end on time.
Yes, ma'am.
With that said, we're out of our time and we're gonna close out tonight. And Joylyn is gonna close out with us so we can say good night. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, and thank you all for being our loyal viewers. And we love you all, and we want to help every way we can help this industry grow, and each of us grow with it. And by grow, it means some of it's experience, some of it's money. So we want that for everybody. So signing off tonight, Black Authors Matter TV. I'm Gwen Richardson. We'll see you next week. Oh, I need to tell you next week's lineup is.
Oh, well, while she's doing that, I'm Dr. Rhonda Lawson. Y'all
Okay.
have.
Our lineup next week is Iris Bowling. She's a best-selling, award-winning novelist. Our second guest is Jean Alicia Elster. She's been on before, but she has a new young adult book she wants to tell us about. We have a child author. He's an 8th grade novelist. His name is Jeremiah Del Val. So he's going to be on with his dad. And we have Reverend Kevin Wayne Johnson. He's with the 2021 Christian Writers Literary Festival, which is coming up next month. So he's going to
He's
tell us
been on the
about
show
it.
before, right?
He was on the show, yeah, before, but it's been a long while back.
It's been a while.
You know, we've had over 250 guests on this show since we started. So, and more to come. We're going to be working on some amazing things for 2022. Anyway, we're out of here. I'm Quinn Richardson. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
I'm eating my fruit now.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.